Hello and welcome to another episode of Behind the Business. If you are watching this on YouTube or the video version on Spotify, as you'll see, I am parked on my very comfy couch because I wanted to take you into a non-scripted, more heart-to-heart episode for you today, where I just really vulnerably open up about where I'm at in my business because I'm going through a huge growth period and there's a lot of things I'm struggling with, and also there's a lot of things that are going fantastically well. And given this podcast is called Behind the Business, I think it's only fitting that I actually take you behind my business and transparently share that with you, because personally these are my favorite episodes to consume. I don't know if I'm just like a nosy person or a very curious person, but I think I learn from how other people make decisions and other people's experiences more than when someone says this is how to do this. So I wanted to give you one of the episodes that I kind of like to listen to in the hopes that it helps you, because I think when you, especially if you're earlier days in your business, when you hear someone say, I make 100K a month, 200K a month, 300K a month, it can be really easy to assume like, cool, they have no problems, everything's perfect, because that's amazing. But I guess there's a reason why there's that saying, more money, more problems. Not because your life has to be shit or hard if you're making a lot of money. That's not how I interpret that saying. It's more just like there's naturally more variables when you're making more money. There's more leads, there's more problems, there's more everything. And you've got to learn how to hold that. And I have gone like this in my business, like within a 12-month period, I have gone from 30K months to 150K months. And that is a huge growth in, honestly, I did that in less than a year. It was actually from like April last year to December that growth really occurred, to be honest. And that's a very short period of time. And I'm catching up to being able to hold all of that and what all of that actually means, and we just continue to grow. And so I just wanted to share with you, as someone who is making between $100,000 and $150,000 cash collected every month in my business, what I'm going through right now, both the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So first of all, let's just start with the positive, because I think, that's just the type of person I am. Glass half full, right? It's freaking amazing. Making $100,000 a month is so wild. We've hit $100,000 or over that for the month of January 2026, which is what we are at the end of right now. Already. And this is the first time where I've hit it where I'm like, oh, this is just normal now. I'm like still grateful for it. Do not get me wrong. I'm so grateful for it, but I've normalized it now. Whereas all the other times I was like, this is the biggest deal ever. Whereas now I've stabilized to it. And that is super cool, because it just means, wow, this is just what we do now. We just make 100K a month minimum. And it would be really cool when I'm saying that about 200K a month or whatever that might end up being. So that is cool. It's so awesome to be making 6 figures a month, being able to pay my team really well, have a higher profit margin, and I'm delegating more now because we have the ability to do so. So naturally, I've got more time, which allows us to make more money, more freedom, all those things. So that's the positive. It's bloody great. The challenges though, is that I'm going through a real growth period right now, because to enable me to continue to actually hold all of that, I need help, right? So I've been hiring a lot, and this has been a real challenge of mine. The team that I've had up until this point in my business are so self-sufficient. They know what they're doing. They take ownership of their role. Whereas the roles that I've been hiring for recently, obviously with them being new roles, there's a lot of hand-holding there, right? And I have felt like a complete novice when it comes to that. Like I just have no idea what I'm doing and how to lead properly. I get reflected back to me that I do know what I'm doing and I am a good leader, but I'm just not feeling like I am right now. I feel like I suck at it. And so I've been trying to create SOPs and be super organized, but I just feel like I'm constantly asking questions, putting out fires, and that I'm just doing a lot. And so even though the point of hiring a team is to take stuff off your plate, in a way I feel like I'm putting stuff on my plate, or that my role has just changed. It's like I've gone from like doing certain things myself to like now I'm delegating it to other people, but now I have to review and train them and answer their questions, and I've got this whole different role now, and it just feels like hard. I'm constantly taking deep breaths of like, okay, another question to answer, another question to answer. And I know it will get better. It's just what happens when you hire new people. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just learning how to navigate it for the first time. So And I made a few mistakes when it comes to hiring, like hiring too quickly, over-hiring, under-hiring. Like I've just made a few mistakes and no regrets, but I'm just like, okay, learned that lesson the hard way or that sort of thing. So that's been a lot. And the roles I'm talking about are appointment setting roles, so people that help you with the DMs or phone calling, and then closing roles, so people actually taking the sales calls from me. So that has been really hard, I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, it's important that I do it because ultimately it will give me my time and energy back, which will allow me to scale the business more. And I'm slowly starting to see that come into fruition, but it's just a lot in the beginning. Like I've had to create so many SOPs and I need to understand something so I can explain it. And sometimes I don't even know how to do it. So I'm like, how can I even explain it? So I've been relying on my ads manager who does know the answer to a lot of these things when it comes to the systems and tech side of it. You know, it's just been a lot, right? So that is one thing that I've definitely struggled with. And the next thing that I've struggled with is checking Slack 24/7. So Slack is a platform that I use to connect and talk to my team every day, but then also my tier 2 clients who have one-on-one message support with me. And I'm just checking it 24/7 at the moment. Like every time I open my phone, it's like a habit to then just quickly check on Slack, call, see what problems there are. Oh, yep, I've got all these messages to reply to. It's like, you know, and so that just feels like a lot and I need to stop doing that. And that is just something that I've struggled with, is just like constantly checking the app. But that's because I'm just in this phase right now where I've got a lot of questions to actually answer. Which kind of leads me on to that third thing. Like another thing I'm struggling with is just like feeling like I'm putting out fires all the time. Like this isn't working. Where do I find this? How do I do this? And then creating systems as it goes on. But it just feels like right now that is a big thing that I'm navigating. And it's hard. The next thing is like learning to hold a lot more capacity wise. We're currently doing around anywhere between $100,000 and $150,000 a month, and we have big goals to get to $200,000 and then $300,000 a month. And in order for me to do that, I need to be able to hold what I'm holding now. And I feel like I'm only just holding it. It feels like a lot, let alone the thought of 3 times that amount. The money part I can hold, I don't feel bad about that, but learning how to hold the team and what comes with that, I need to learn how to hold that before I will be a match or be able to scale any further to like triple our results, right? So for me, I'm regulating, knowing that a big thing that kept me at 30K months for a long time was this belief that, you know, to make 80K and above would be just exhausting. And I currently feel that way about 300K months, not client wise, that's all down pat, but just the team and like just noise wise. And so I'm realizing, I'm aware now of that belief and that thought pattern that held me back for such a long time. And so I'm working on that of like, I can lead, I can do this, because if I can't do this, or I believe I can't do this, well then I'm obviously not going to grow my income. I will plateau here. And whilst it's a freaking great place to be, so was 30K months, to be honest, I don't want to stay here. I want to keep growing because I love growing. And so growing is uncomfortable, so I have to be okay in the discomfort. So I'm reminding myself that to expand my capacity to hold more. So I take a lot of deep breaths and I just remind myself, if I can't handle this, I can't handle more. And I just tell myself I can do this. And then I create a process, and I know it will get easier through time if I keep leaning into it. But the worst thing I could do is like lean out due to, you know, telling myself I can't handle it and it's too much. So I feel like I'm slowly getting better at it, but I still wanted to be transparent with you that that's how I have been feeling these last, you know, maybe the last month or so, because the business just really jumped in revenue, and then I hired a lot of people, and then I went from 1 appointment setter to accidentally 5, and then I've been managing that, and I don't know, I just hired too many people, and now I'm just resolving that, and it just feels like a lot and messy if you can't tell. And then the last thing that I wanted to share that I've been struggling with is probably just like letting go of control, because I have always done the sales calls my entirety of business. I got to 100K months, over 6 years of me doing every single sales call. And now to delegate the very thing that's going to make me money is extremely petrifying, because I know I'm good at sales and sales calls, and I know I can do it. And so to pass that on to someone, even though they're qualified and trained in it, is so scary, because Like, that is where our revenue comes from. And so to trust other people in the hands of whether we sign a client or not is really uncomfortable, but I just know that I have to do it, because I got to the point where I was sometimes doing 12 sales calls in a day, and that's just absolutely crazy. And I pride myself on having a spacious business model, and I do, and that's because I keep delegating. And so I need to let go of control there, and also trust them, and not have this belief that only I can do it or no one can do it better than me. I have to believe that they can do it better than me, and hold them to that standard, and also guide them and teach them and support them to be able to do so as well. So that is kind of where I'm at with all of that. And I just wanted this episode to be not a complaining episode. None of it's a complaint. It's the reality of how I'm feeling and what I'm going through. And as you can hear, I'm actively doing things about it. So you can struggle with something and do something about it. And you can be struggling with something and be grateful for things at the same time, and there being a lot going right. You know, there's a lot going right now in the business. Obviously, we wouldn't be making over 100 grand a month. And there's not necessarily things going wrong, it's just things that are feeling a lot and hard. And both can coexist, and both are coexisting. So if you have this belief right now that anyone making gazillions more money than you right now, that it's just perfect and, you know, everything, not true. Every stage of business, whether it's your first 5K month, 10K, 30, 50, 100, whatever it might be, is going to have its own set of challenges, and you need to normalize those challenges and move through them before you're ready to actually upgrade to that next level. So I had a bazillion challenges when I was at 2K a month for my business, and I really wanted 10K. I had to be an energetic match for that. My business had to be a match for that. And so the challenges you're presented with right now, you've got to be aware of them, and you've got to do something about them. So I'm leaning into a lot of support right now from my coach on, you know, to be coached on these things, supported with these things, so I can move through them. And yeah, it's all happening. So that's a little life update episode for today of the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what I'm moving through. And I hope that this has been normalizing for what might be coming up for you in your season of business, and a perspective shift on, hey, maybe this isn't bad or wrong, and it's normal, and I'm going to lean into this, I'm going to move through this, I'm going to get support if need be, so I can move forwards and upgrade my reality. Hope you've loved this episode, and I'll speak to you next week.